Okay, hope the screen is visible to everyone. And any questions, I'll give the Q&A session for 5 to 10 minutes, don't worry. And during that time, you can raise the questions. And meantime, I'll give some time for any questions as well. Okay. And once again, yes, welcome to Cypress course training. And it's an end-to-end automation testing. And on top of that, we can do the integration testing and unit testing as well. And today's agenda, I'll be covering about how to getting started with Cypress and how to do the installation, commands and setup, and what are the Cypress commands, and how to create the Cypress first test and test runner. We have a Cypress test runner, which is very interactive test runner, and I'll be covering about framework walkthrough and how to do the cross-browser testing using Cypress and command line execution. I mean, we can execute Cypress scripts in two modes. One is the test runner. Second mode is the command line. And I have created a Cypress mind map as well, and about given trainings for the different vendors, Wipro, Edu-Tech, Noble Pro, and from different members from USA, Hubilo, Slovenia, and from UK, US, different members. You can refer all the testimonials here. Okay, coming to my experience, I do have 11+ years of experience overall, and in Cypress, I've been almost working for 4 years now. And the trainings I have started from 2 years. Last 2 years, I've been actively giving the training sessions for corporate and one-to-one sessions. Okay, that is a bit introduction about myself. And coming to Cypress introduction. Okay. Here you can see Cypress is a next generation front-end testing tool built for modern web. Why we say here, it is built for modern web means Cypress is developed and designed for not only for QAs, it's for developers as well. And the programming language could be anything. Could be like a React, Vue.js, Angular, Java, .NET, could be PHP, Python, any programming language, irrespective of that. Cypress is compatible with all the programming languages. If you take Protractor, it is only designed for the Angular. That's why it's going to deprecate soon. And many members are migrating to Cypress now. And Cypress enables you to write all the types of tests. For example, end-to-end test, integration test, and unit test. Our core focus will be most of the time end-to-end test, but here we can leverage it for integration test and unit tests as well. That is one of the unique selling point of Cypress. Okay, a bit about history. It was started in 2015 by Brian Mann and Randall Kent from US. It's more than just browser automation, a tool for front-end and complete end-to-end testing package. And the architecture is quite opposite to Selenium. I'll be covering soon. And it comes with 2 versions. One is the open source, free version is there, and commercial, Cypress Cloud for analytics, reports, Jira integration. All the builds. If you want to, use it for different configurations, GitHub corporate, GitLab corporate, then you have to buy the license version. Okay, excuse me. Okay, what is Cypress? You can see Cypress is a free open source locally installed test runner and dashboard service for recording your tests. That means we have a local test runner. The executions will trigger on the local test runner, and it will capture the records and screenshots as well. It's a front-end and back-end test automation tool built for the next generation of modern web applications. Okay, it's not only for front-end. We can do testing using Cypress for API testing, database testing, visual testing, accessibility testing. You can, there is no limit. You can test all the layers of testing using Cypress. Okay, and yes, it's useful for developers as well as QA engineers to test real-life applications developed in any programming. For example, React, Angular, Node, Vue, and other front-end technologies. And the scope is not only for QAs. Usually Selenium, Protractor, WebDriver is developed and designed for testers only. But Cypress can be used by developers and QAs as well, both. Okay, why we use Cypress over other automation frameworks? You might get a doubt. There are plenty of automation tools in market now. Why Cypress is like booming and why is, I mean, it's a buzzword now. It's a JavaScript test automation solution for web applications, API, database, and visual testing. And yeah, most of the time we'll be using JavaScript language to write the scripts. And on top of that, you can use the TypeScript, two languages only. This all-in-one testing framework provides a child session library with mocking and stubbing all without Selenium. Okay, here we don't use any Selenium drivers. I mean, there is no concept of web drivers here. Hence, Cypress comes with the internal architecture and internal drivers. Okay, moreover, it comes with the framework. Mocha is a test framework for JavaScript frameworks, and which can be used to develop web test automations. Hence, it comes with the like Mocha framework and Chai session library, everything inbuilt. Excuse me, please mute everyone. Okay, sorry about that. And yeah, the prerequisites are very few. Just we need to install the Node.js, VS Code IDE. I mean, you can install it. I mean, you can use like VS Code IDE, IntelliJ, Eclipse, or there are, I mean, different WebStorm. There are different IDs, but I would recommend VS Code, which is very lightweight from Microsoft, and it has the community version. And you need to know about JavaScript basics, like what are the JavaScript topics, arrays, loops, callbacks, promises. There are different concepts, closures, enums. Okay, I'll be covering like all the topics as well, like JavaScript topics, good enough to start with the Cypress. And the last thing we need Cypress package. Cypress is like a NPM package. We can install from using Node Package Manager. Okay, yes, there is a question from Sridhar. Do we need TypeScript as well? No, I mean, you can learn either one of the programming. If you know JavaScript, TypeScript is very easy. Or if you know TypeScript, JavaScript will be easy. Hence, one will be good enough. I mean, some companies use JavaScript, some companies use TypeScript. And the difference between these two programming languages, JavaScript is a dynamic language, interpreted dynamic language. And we don't need to define the data types. But coming to TypeScript is a OOPS based language, and we have to define the data type. That's why it's a strict language protocol. But JavaScript, I can say it's a freestyle programming. It's a dynamic language. Okay, coming to a bit about architecture, Cypress architecture, you can see. Right side, there is a browser. For example, like all the calls will go through the browser, internal local browser, not the remote browser. And everything is an iframe component here. And while execution happening, we can interact with the DOM application and window, local storage cookies, service worker. Hence, I mean, that's why it's called the interactive execution, because while execution happening, we can interrupt the execution and we can see the logs. But coming to Selenium WebDriver, if we interrupt any of the execution, the test case will fail. Okay, here you can see that all the calls go through the HTTP request proxy, and the proxy here is Node.js process. Hence, we have to install the Node.js server, and the calls will go through the web, remote web, and remote web will return the response to the proxy and back to the HTTP response to local browser, whether the test case is fail or pass, and why it failed, which line number. I mean, everything will be like we'll see the logs in the test runner. Okay, coming to operating system, Cypress works on Windows, Mac, Linux, any of the operating system platform. Okay, any questions, any other questions? Okay, hope everyone getting the concept. And the installation and setup is very easy. Just we need to install the Node.js server. First thing, second thing, installing the VS Code IDE. Okay, you can see Node.js. You have to open the nodejs.org website, and you have to install the LTS. LTS stands for long-term stable version, and you have to install the LTS version number 18.13.0. First, that is the first setup. Then okay, the second thing is the VS Code. You need IDE to write, IDE to write the scripts, right? So hence we will be using Visual Studio Code from Microsoft, and it's a free version. Like you can install for Windows, Mac, Linux. Any of the operating system. Okay, then I'll be showing the quick demo today, like how to get the project and how to do the setup. Okay, before that, we have few, some of the Cypress features. So the few highlights are API testing. We don't need to install any third-party plugins, or we don't need to create a separate framework. In the same UI automation, you can just call the side.request command to test the APIs as well. And DB testing using side.task command. Mobile V testing, for example, like your application comes with the responsive mode, like for example, web, mobile, tablets. Then yes, Cypress is using the Cypress viewports, we can handle the responsive testing. Okay, those who are not familiar with the responsive testing, for example, here we are on the desktop mode, and we can minimize to mobile view. You can see it's a responsive testing. Now we can test on the different viewports, and if we make it as a tab, you can see it's a tab view. Hence we can test all these use cases using Cypress. Okay, and the other features are node and system commands using side.task command. Visual testing. Sometimes what happens, we want to check the any images broken, any CSS properties broken on the page. Using visual testing, like the plugin Cypress Visual Regression plugin. And we have plenty of plugins available for Cypress, which is officially from Cypress and third party. For example, side.iframe is a package, Cypress iframe. Like that, like we have Cypress XPath to handle the XPath locators, Cypress file upload, file download to handle different use cases. Okay, here you can see a bit about Selenium architecture, and I'll be giving the difference between two frameworks. Cypress, coming to Selenium, here we'll be using the JSON-wire protocol, or we will be using nowadays, we migrated to W3C protocol. And here you can see like all the scripts will go through the HTTP request through the browser. We need the Chrome drivers here, Chrome driver, Gecko, Safari, iDriver. And the drivers will talk to the remote web. And in the same way, we'll get the response from the remote web through the drivers back to HTTP response to the script. Coming to Cypress background, the process, how it works means once we create the script, execute, under the hood, it will create a test.js file, and it will talk, the calls will go through the Node.js proxy. Node.js is the server here, and Node.js will convert into node_test.js file and talk to the remote web, and return back to the response back to the script in the same way, vice versa. Here we don't use any Chrome driver, Firefox driver, but we use browsers. Cypress internally, already configured all the browsers. Just we need to select which browser and execute. Okay, here is the, other highlights of Cypress. Here you can see before Cypress, we have to choose a framework, either Mocha framework, Jasmine, QUnit, Karma, or a session library, child library, Expect.js, Selenium. Selenium is one of the framework, right? For automation, or we have to use the Selenium wrapper, Protractor, Nightwatch, WebDriver IO, and additional libraries, for example, Signer, Testable. Coming to after Cypress came into market, we can skip all these installation of the one by one components. Just with one package, everything is possible. All-in-one testing framework, a session library with mocking and stubbing. I mean, that is a different concept, mocking and stubbing. I'll be covering during the sessions. And all without Selenium. Here we don't use Selenium drivers, but internally Cypress use their own drivers. Okay, here are the game changers and other features of Cypress. Time travel. We can time travel through the test runner and see like all the logs and real-time reloads. For example, when we do update any changes to the script, automatically the scripts will trigger and execute. We don't need to manually execute every time. Spy stubs and clocks means, for example, we can mock the APIs and replace a original function, and we can customize all the DOM elements as well as per our requirement. Okay, coming to consistent results. For example, like Cypress scripts are mostly stable because even though it's asynchronous, it has the inbuilt of waiting mechanism, and all the scripts will wait for 4 seconds by default. That's why the scripts are very stable for a long time, and debugging is very easy using the test runner. Automatic waiting, yes, it comes with automatic waiting mechanism feature, and by default it's 4 seconds. We can override and we can customize to 5 seconds, 10 seconds also. Okay, another important feature is network traffic control. For example, okay, here we have the Chrome DevTools and a network tab. For example, here we have search. KL Central, search for the properties. And here you can see some of the API calls happening in the network under the hood network tab. We can interact with all these API calls and we can check the status codes, type, initiator, what is the request response, everything. Not only UI automation, we can interact with the Chrome DevTools network, network tab logs, console JavaScript errors. We can customize the DOM elements, everything possible with the Cypress. Okay, and it captures screenshots and videos. We don't need to write any separate function for that. Usually in Selenium, what we do, we write a function to capture screenshot, to capture video, which is a extra task, right? Here, Cypress framework will take care. We don't need to write any function. Once the test case fail, automatically it will capture the screenshot and videos. Just we need to open the screenshot folder and videos, and, do the trace packing. Okay, any questions here?
Vinay, one question, like in Selenium, we will use this XPath to find the details, right? Like in Cypress, what, like how we are using the same XPath or something?
Okay, the thing is like, Cypress comes with by default CSS selectors. They recommend CSS selectors because it's easy to write and easy to create the locators. And it's fast performance as well. Coming to XPath, yes, I do Selenium background, mostly use XPath. But yeah, if you want to use XPath, we have to install the third-party plugin, which is called the Cypress XPath package. Then, usually we'll be calling the site.get. Get means find the element. And here you can see we have to give the CSS locators.
Okay, so by default, we use CSS locators here for Cypress.
CSS locators, yes.
Okay. So one example, like how we identify any button or text box, like how we pass.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, first thing is as usual, we have to identify the locators, right? First we have to right click, inspect the locator. Either manually we can create the locators or using the third-party plugins like extensions like TruePath, Selector Serve. I'll be covering during the sessions what are TruePath. TruePath is a third-party Chrome extension. It will generate the XPaths for us. And in the same way, Selector Serve. But if you, excuse me, but we want to manually create. Let's skip the extensions for now. Here we can see we have the name attribute, and we can take the name attribute.
Yeah.
and create the locators. I'm showing the manual way, but you can automatically generate as well. Here you can see like a name is an attribute and the value is username. In this way, like we can create a CSS selector and use it in the script.
So everything is done through CSS only, right? No XPath, no ID, nothing here.
No, there is no concept of like ID, name, tag name, partial link, link text. No, there is no concept like that. Everything will be using site.get function. And in the site.get, we have to pass the CSS selectors. Okay, we have okay, so coming to selectors. First will be CSS selector. Second, XPath using the third-party plugin. Third will be jQuery. Yes, we have jQuery as well. 3 selectors. We don't have like a ID, name, those kind of proper, locator strategy. Because using like a CSS, we can create the IDs as well. Using the, for example, okay. Let's take the first name field. You can say inspect the DOM. And here we have the ID. Even though we have the ID, we can create a CSS selector using hash. You can see pretty shortcut, right? And coming to XPath, we have to create a forward slash using the like attribute. It's a lengthy process, to create the XPath. Hence, I will also recommend CSS. CSS is most robust and easy to write and easy to read. You can see just with one hash, we have created the locator. Okay, in the same way, like, we have the XPath option as well and jQuery. jQuery will be using Cypress dot jQuery locator. For example, here, coming to CSS will be site.get locator like this. Coming to XPath will be site.XPath locator. Here the function will change to get it to XPath. Here the function will be Cypress.jQuery locator. And during the sessions, I'll be covering more advanced how to create the CSS and jQuery locators as well. Okay, hope it's clear. Like, what are the possible selectors here?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you can see like a simple code snippet for the like a describe. Describe is a Mocha test suite, and it represents a test case, it block. And here we have to give the, for example, test smart search and apply credit card. And site.visit means a visit command is to open the website. Okay, site.get, get the locator, CSS selector. Type is to input. Contains means like get the some label, search, for example, or a login label, sign up label. Click. Here we don't need to identify the locator, just we need to give the function site.contains search or login. Okay. Yeah, I'll be covering like all these later, but the time being I'm showing the comments. Site.url should is a promise session. Include is a function. We are checking the partial string. Here you can see site.get. Get is the function to identify the locator. H1 means header. Header 1 should is a promise session. Contain means like we are checking. Should contain the finding the right credit card. See, all the comments are very easy to read and easy to write. Like English sentence. You can see easily readable, less maintenance, flag-free, stable, cross-browser testing, and CI/CD integration. Like all these are possible with Cypress commands. Okay, here you can see subject is passed through the chain. First, we'll be calling the function size. Size is the object here. Size.get function, the locator dot click. Click is a user event. Then chaining comment should is a promise assertion. Should have the class active. Hence, in Cypress, every command is we can do the chaining syntax. Okay, and Cypress will automatically wait for this assertion 4 seconds by default. We have given the should assertion, and it will wait for 4 seconds by default. First, it will get the locator, click on it, and it will wait for the locator to, before throwing the exception, 4 seconds it will wait. If still the locator not found, in 5th second, it will throw the error, timeout error. Okay, coming to responsive app testing, here you can see using Cypress, we can do responsive auto testing. For example, verify the functionality, layout, images and logos, scrolling and gestures in different viewports, desktop, tablet, mobile, all the viewports. Okay, coming to Cypress dashboard cloud, it's a, cloud hosting, you have to create an account first. Then once you run all the builds, you can trace back all the logs. For example, build number 2485, details here. Okay, like how much last execution time? 9 minutes ago. Duration 1 minute 4 second. Environment Debian. Chrome 59. In this way, like we can check all the logs, like CI/CD platform, Circle CI, passing how many? 55, failing 0. And we don't need to install like a third-party reports like LE reports, Mockasm. Yes, it is also possible. But Cypress comes with the Cypress Cloud. You can check all the logs here. And it is team shareable. Like you can share these logs with the team and stakeholders, everyone, they can refer the logs. They can see the high-level reports, how many pass, how many fail, and what are the blockers, excuse me. Okay, and during the training sessions, I'll be covering all real-time examples and how to test on the real-time, real-world application with examples, and how to do the React app or Vue.js, and how to do the database testing. And not TypeScript, I'll be covering more about JavaScript, but a bit about TypeScript, and how to do the local authentication, database seeding with end-to-end test, CI/CD platforms, and Cypress dashboard. I'll be covering end-to-end course outline. And I'll be covering 2 to 3 platforms, not only one platform, Jenkins, GitLab CI, GitHub Actions, 2 to 3 platforms for the continuous integration and deployment. Okay. Yes, I do agree. Like there are pros. For every framework, there are pros and cons. So for Cypress also not a silver bullet. There are few blockers as well. First blocker will be like you should learn JavaScript or TypeScript. Hence, you cannot use a Java, Python, .NET like that. But JavaScript is easy to learn. Once you learn the syntax comments, it's pretty easy to write and learn. And handling multiple tabs is a challenge. For example, like you cannot switch to, you have in the online notepad, you cannot open a tabs like this. You cannot open a tab, but you cannot switch to like different tabs. That is one of the blocker. Okay, and Cypress, it comes with official documentation. You can see docs.cypress.io. Here you can find all the guidelines and the API commands, and you can search for quick handy. Trade-offs. They have officially mentioned, they have officially given Cypress is not a general purpose automation tool. We can use it for unit testing, component testing, integration testing. And Cypress commands run inside a browser, not the remote browser. These are the remote browsers, but Cypress commands run in the local browser. And there will be never be support for multiple browser tabs. Maybe in future, but they mentioned as of now, there is no workaround, but I'll be giving the third-party workarounds.
Then parallel execution is not possible.
Okay, good question. Parallel execution is possible, but using the third-party plugins and using the browser stack or source labs. But using Cypress framework internally, no, it's not possible. You have to execute one by one only.
Only sequential execution.
Sequential execution, yes.
Even grid also not possible, right?
Grid, I mean, yes, parallelization is there, but you have to integrate with the GitHub Actions. And I mean, in using, we have grid concept like, I mean, like a Selenium grid, but using like GitHub Actions or Jenkins or GitLab CI, you can create parallel machines, 4 to 5 machines, and you can distribute the scripts. For example, you have 100, you can distribute for, I mean, 25 into 4 machines. Yes,
Okay.
we have grid concept, yes. Okay, I'll be sharing the contact number. Yeah. Okay, here you can see. And yeah, you cannot use Cypress to drive 2 browsers at the same time. That is one of the blocker. But yeah, third party, I mean, we have Cypress parallel. I mean, we have the grid concept. We have a browser stack, source labs. Okay, each test is bound to single SOAP domain. That means like every test is, I mean, for example, you are testing Apple. You cannot switch to Google, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Facebook, I mean, in the same test. But nowadays, it's not a blocker. They have released the Cypress.origin to handle 2 SOAP domains in the single test. That means you can open Facebook and test LinkedIn and Gmail, like that, Instagram, Twitter. You can test multiple domains in the same test. Okay, coming to temporary trade-offs, yeah, they have officially mentioned these are the temporary. They'll be, I mean, in the roadmap, they'll be releasing the workarounds. Okay, now I'll show the setup, how to do the quick setup. Okay, first thing is you have to install the like Node.js server. Second thing is the VS Code. Okay, I'll be covering JavaScript topics as well later. Okay, here you can see like I have created an empty folder which is called Cypress demo session, and using the VS Code IDE. And we have to open the terminal here from the menu. Okay, I mean the third step, second step and third step is completed. I mean I'll be sharing later one by one steps later in detail. Okay, fourth step, we have to initialize the project. The command is npm init. Okay, when we run the npm init, it will ask for certain details. What is the package name, project name, Cypress demo session, version 1.0.0. Description, we can say Cypress tests. Okay, entry point, we can keep it as an index.js file. Test command, we can say npm run test. Okay, as of now, we didn't integrate with the GitHub repository, hence we can skip it for now. Later, I'll be covering those integrations. Keywords, we can say Cypress. Author, in this case, Vinayak. License will be ISC default. If everything looks good, enter. Is this okay? Yes. Okay, now if you observe here, we have initialized the project with the package.json file. Package.json file is the main file to install the packages and to create define the project details and to create the npm scripts for command line execution. Later we'll be calling this command to, for example, we can say Cypress run. We can modify also and call the command keyword test to execute. Okay, just a second. Okay. Yeah, that the next step is we have initialized the project package.json file to install the packages. Okay, the next thing is we need npm. Like npm stands for Node Package Manager. To install the packages, we have plenty of packages available in Cypress. I mean, these are all the Node.js packages. We can search here, package name, Cypress. And if you are using Cucumber framework, we have to install the Cypress Cucumber preprocessor. As of now, we have to search for the Cypress. Okay, here we can see it comes with all the detailed information. What are the, what is about Cypress and what is the installation command and the other documentation. I mean, every package comes with the detailed information for you. Now we have to run the command npm install -- sudo Cypress. That means we are installing Cypress as a dev dependency. And in the local installation, not global. Global means we have to add the command -g. Okay, now let's install the Cypress package. And the command is install sudo Cypress. And we are installing locally, means the scope of the Cypress package is applicable to this project only. -g stands for the whole your whole system, and it will be applicable to all the projects. But we would recommend to install as a local installation. Okay, Cypress is installed successfully. Here you can see we have the dev dependencies and the Cypress version packages here, version number 12.3.0, which is the latest version. Then we have to run the command npx Cypress open. npx stands for Node Package Execution. npm stands for Node Package Manager. Okay, here you can see it looks like this is your first time using Cypress version 12.3.0 and verified Cypress successfully. Yes, it will be always stored in the system library caches folder and the Cypress version number cypress.app. Now we have to open the Cypress.app application. It will be opening soon. Okay, here is the launchpad. Once we open the npx Cypress open, hence it will open the Cypress app with the launchpad. It is called the launchpad, and we have two types of tests. We have end-to-end test, component test. If we are targeting for component test, you have to do the configuration here. But as of now, our scope is doing the end-to-end test configuration. Just click here. You can see build and test the entire experience of our application from end to end to ensure each flow matches our expectations. Okay, just we need to click on here and it will create the folder structure for us. We don't need to create frameworks from scratch. Everything is a pre-bundle package. We have the config file to define the base URL and the global timeouts, screenshots true or false, video true or false. We can define every configuration here. Okay, Cypress support end-to-end.js file for the global imports. We have, for example, we have installed Cypress XPath, Cypress iframe. We have to globally import here under the end-to-end.js file. That's why we have a global import file. And we have commands.js file to create the reusable functions. Usually we create like number of reusable functions, and we had to better to create in the support commands.js file as a reusable function. Okay, we have example.json file under fixtures. Fixtures folder is for the test data storage purpose. And we can define in JSON format, Excel format, CSV, any of the test data formats. Here you can see like, I mean, here we have given, comes with the example JSON format, and the data is name, email, body, and the data value is here. Okay, if everything looks good, continue. Okay, here you can see, hence Cypress will automatically scan the system, and in my local system, I have Chrome, Electron, Firefox, and the version number Chrome 108, Electron 106, Firefox 95. Just we need to select the browser and start testing in Chrome. Now it will open that test runner. Here we have to do the configuration one more time. I mean, excuse me, all these configuration one time only. Second time we don't need to repeat multiple times. Hence one time configuration. If you notice here, we have the Cypress folder, fixtures for the test data, support for the global imports and reusable functions, and there is no spec files. As of now, there is no executable files. Now we have to create either from scratch, or we have to like import the scaffold example specs. It will import some of the example spec files for you. Just click on importing the spec files. Here you can see like it comes with the getting started and advanced examples for the beginners to refer. I'll be covering all these one by one during the regular sessions. Okay, for now, let's click OK, I got it. And once we go to the Cypress folder now, it comes with the intent folder. You can see all the spec files are predefined. Just for reference purpose, we can delete these folders and create the project folders. I mean, project related. For example, if you are working on banking, insurance, you can create those spec files. Okay, intent folder is for the executable files. These are all the executable files, and the extension should be spec name .sci.js. Because we are using JavaScript, the file name extension will be .js. And fixtures is for the test data storage purpose. Support is for the reusable function. For example, we can create a reusable function here using Cypress the syntax will be comments.add, and we have to give the function name user login, and using the arrow keys function. Here we have to write the comments. Now we have created just a template user login function. We can create call in the script. In this way, like we can create number of functions. User sign up, user payment, different functions. All these are reusable functions. So later we'll be calling in the spec file. Hope the screen it's visible for everyone. Okay, we have node modules here. Under the node modules, you will see like bin files, all the package files. Just now we have installed Cypress, right? You can go through here Cypress package, and here we have the support files like folders, Angular, bin files, library files, React component testing, Vue.js component testing. We don't need to modify these packages, just for reference purpose only. Just close it, collapse it. Okay. And the other important file is config file. Here we'll be defining the base URL, timeouts. For example, if you want to define the base URL, here we can say base URL, and we can define in a single quotes or double quotes. Let's say orange HRM is the UAT, user application testing. We can define the base URL here, and path we can define in the spec file. We just need to define the base URL only, the host. Save it. Okay. Yeah, here you can see like we have all the spec files already. I'll show one login file as well. Okay, package.json file is for the npm scripts and for to install the packages one by one. Now let's go through the one spec file. We have to-do spec file, and the application we are testing is example.cypress.io to-do application. First, I will show the demo for the to-do application. Okay, here we have this website and to-do application. Here we have two elements: pay electric bill, walk the dog. we want to, open the website and search for 2 elements are visible or not. And we are checking the labels and the length. Okay, here you can see the example comes with the describe. Describe is a test suite. Before each is a pre-hooks. Means before executing the test case it block, we want to open the website. Before each site visit, open the website. Here comes the test case. And in the describe test suite, we can create number of it blocks. You can see test case 1, test case 2, test case 3, like that. Number of, there is a no limit. We can create number of as per the framework. Okay, let's execute only the first test case. Okay, here you can see we have the description, display 2 to-do items by default. When we open the website, it should show 2 labels by default, 2 to-do items. Okay, then we have to get the locator of the elements. We can open the Chrome DevTools, search for the locator. You can see it is highlighting 2 elements. Hence, to identify the locator, the function is sci.get. Sci is the object here, sci.get. And when we do sci dot, you will see like all the functions. Check children, clear all cookies. Click function is here, contains function is here, double click is here, document is here, each function is here. All these are predefined functions from the Cypress package. Okay, now we have the locator here. Dot should is a promise. And we have given the condition. The function is have length 2. How many properties we have? 2 here. Just we have checking the condition using the should promise. Then get the same locator, to-do list locator dot first. We have the traversing here. First, get only the first element using the first function dot should have the text label pay electric bill. Excuse me. Okay, we want to check the last element. Get the same locator list of elements dot last. Last is a function for the traversing. Now we are checking the last element. Dot should is a promise. Have text label. Walk the dog. The scenario is ready. Just we need to go to the test runner and execute. The test runner is here. And we can search here, filter search to do spec file. Just click on it. And the execution will start soon. You can see pretty fast it executed. And here is the test suite. Test case name, display 2 to-do items by default. And the test suite name is example to-do application. And here we have the before hooks, and here we have the test body. Just expand the before hooks. Here we are opening the website, and just expand the test body. You'll see the locators. How many list of locators we have? 2 matched elements. And get the how many the length? 2. To have the length of 2 elements. Get the first element and check the label pay electric bill. To have the text label pay electric bill, and get the last function, last element, and check the label walk the dog. You can see when I mouse over here, it's highlighting the right side. How many elements we have? 2. First element pay electric bill, second walk the dog. And you can turn off the highlights here or on. And you can see the URL here, local test runner. This is a local test runner. And here you can switch to browsers as well. The same test we can execution on Firefox as well. Just to switch to Firefox and execute. Pretty simple to execute, and for debugging purpose as well. Now it will execute on Firefox. Here you can see the execution completed and the test case is pass. Here is the test case count. And if you want to rerun the same test case, just need to click on this icon. You can see pretty fast it executed. How many seconds? 315 milliseconds only. And in the same way, we can test switch back to Chrome. Okay, and we have Cypress Playground. We don't need to manually inspect from the application. We have the here icon, Cypress Playground. It's called the playground, and you can inspect here the elements. Automatically, it will generate the locators for us. You can see it is generating the CSS selectors. Just we need to clone here and using the script. For example, say dot get the label dot click. I mean, for time being, I'll comment it out. Okay. Cypress Playground is the, option to generate the locators, but it's not highly recommended. But sometimes it will generate relative locators. Sometimes it will generate absolute paths. For example, yeah, we can take these locators. It is reliable and stable for a long time. Here also, and here you can see it is generating the locators for all the page objects. Sometimes the indexing will be differ. Hence, we have to cherry pick the exact, relative paths. Okay, that is about the Cypress Playground. It's a handy tool to generate the locators for you. Now we want to execute all the tests. Just we need to, we can add the it.only, means it will execute only one test case. If we delete the only function, it will execute all the test cases for us. Just save it, and the scripts will trigger here. I didn't trigger manually. Here you can see, once I change the changes in the script, automatically the scripts will trigger in the test runner. Here you can see how many test cases we have. 6. Here is the hierarchy. Open, expand. First test case, display to-do items by default. Second, can add new to-do items. Here is the traversing, one by one locators debugging. In the second test case, we have added one more test case, one more label. Here you can see get the input element. Type is for the input. Feed the cat. And how many labels we have? 3 now. And what is the latest label? Feed the cat. In this way, we can do the mouse over and check the traversing. In the same way, we can, here we have a few more test cases. Can filter for uncompleted task, completed task, delete all the completed tasks. Just for our idea, I'm sharing. It took just few seconds, and how many test cases we have? 6. 0 fail. For example, if a failed case will be, here we have the list of items should have length. I have given purposely 3, or you can say 5. Purposely I have given 5. Let's save it and run. Okay, this time it will fail because how many we have exact elements? 2 only. Here you can see how many list of elements? 2 matched elements, but we have given 5 to have a length of 5, but got only 2. And what is the spec file? To do spec file, and where exactly it failed? Line number 30. And just we can check the, okay, here it failed. It's highlighting here. Just go to the script, do the changes, and save it. Okay, here you can see this time it passed. Just for the failure case I have shown, how to debug the spec level and the line number exact. Okay, any questions so far?
So here, we have JUnit and TestNG, we use annotations. So here, how it will be?
Yes, good question. Here we have, Mocha framework. Describe is from test suite is from Mocha framework. Before each hooks. We have 4 hooks. Before each, after each, 4 annotations. These are the annotations only.
So can we design page object model, like pages,
Pages,
each
yes.
page class, test class?
Right. Yes. Page object can be integrated with any of the framework, not only Cypress. And I'll be covering 4 to 5 different design patterns. We can create the page, but we don't have the page factory concept here, but we have page objects. Yes. We can store all the locators and call it in the spec file.
Like we can showcase in the, whatever the landing page, all the business logic will be there in that particular page classes. Implementation logic will be in the page classes.
Yeah. We can create the classes. Yes. I mean, for example, here only we have the login page. We can create one login class and store all the locators and functions in the same class file. One, for example, like we have the admin module. We can create one page object for the admin module, collect all the locators, and in the same file we can create the functions as well. And for example, we have the leave module. We can create a page objects class for the leave class, and store all the locators and create the functions and call it in the spec file. Yes, we can design the whole framework using page objects design pattern. We can add the reports, LU reports, Mocha awesome reports, reusable functions using Cypress custom commands. Or we have the ES6 package. We can create reusable functions using export import as well. And I will cover all these topics, advanced topics, during the regular sessions. And yeah, I'll be covering the course outline as well. You can see. Okay, for time being, I'll be showing the course outline. Here you can see. First, I'll be starting with JavaScript, because those who are new to JavaScript or TypeScript, I'll be covering all the advanced topics of JavaScript. Then I'll start with what are the prerequisites, locator strategy. I'll be covering two different types of locator strategies, and VS Code IDE usage, plugins, shortcuts. And here starts the architecture and the Cypress components one by one. I mean, web UI controls, for example, date picker, pagination, shadow DOM, write and read file, sliders, web table. All these are the standard web UI controls. I'll be covering one by one. Here comes the advanced topics. Framework design, fixtures usage, page object model design, how to do the test parameterization, parallel testing, framework, dashboard feature with capturing screenshots and videos, integration with the CI/CD platforms, Jenkins, API testing, advanced API testing, all the methods, get, post, put, patch, delete, how to do the chaining calls, how to do the huge payloads testing. Okay. And I'll be covering Mocha framework design pattern and Cucumber. Those who are new to BDD Cucumber, it's a Gherkin syntax. We can write in plain English syntax. And I'll be covering BDD advanced framework, all the features. And Cypress Studio is deprecated now. I'll be like it's a record and play. Just we can record all the UI interactions and capture the scripts, but it is not recommended. Okay, here comes the Mocha framework implementation, all the annotations, how to give the it.only, it.skip, hooks or hooks or annotations. And yeah, I'll be covering about assertions, advanced topics, cross-browser testing, parallel execution with the headless browser and non-headless mode, non-headless or headless execution. And I'll be covering about how to do the logging and test run or debugging. Here we can see like all the gestures, scroll, drag and drop, double click, right click. And yeah, these are the Cypress cloud usage and analytics, how to handle the timeouts. I will be covering out different data types. For example, different test data handling, JSON file, Excel file, CSV, images and PDFs, how to handle it, and how to do the global configuration, environment configurations, excuse me. Reporting, very important. I'll be covering 3 to 4 different reports, Mocha-some, LU reports, Cucumber HTML reports, and third-party reports. And those who are new to GitHub, GitHub or Bitbucket version control, source control versioning, right? I'll be taking one session on the Git source control versioning, how to do the commits, pull and push. Source stay is optional, but if time permits, I'll cover that one. How to do the Git branching strategy. Here comes the advanced topics, GitLab integration. Cloud testing is either of the service, either browser stack or SaaS labs I will cover. Yeah, database very important. I'll be covering about MySQL and MongoDB. I'll be covering 2 different databases. We have the connectors, MySQL connector or MongoDB connector, to connect to the DB and fetch the records. Okay, Gmail, for example, how to test the Gmail API programmatically. I'll be covering all these workarounds, and how to do the mocking and stubbing. TypeScript is optional. Mostly I'll be covering JavaScript only. and how to use the Docker images and different CI/CD platforms, Jenkins, Circle CI, GitHub Actions. Yes, I'll be covering GraphQL queries as well. Component testing also, a bit about component testing, GraphQL queries. And yeah, it comes with whole package, framework, design, and advanced use cases of different integrations. You can see like all the visual testing I'll be covering. Visual testing means checking off the application, whether the layout is correct or not, any images were broken or not, like that. And I'll be covering, all the sessions will be interactive. You can, if any doubts, you can raise with me, any blockers or any challenges you're facing. I'll be giving practice sessions as well. And documentation, I'll be providing Cypress cookbook documentation, all the real-time examples. I will give like a HRM domain and e-commerce domain for the live projects practice. And I'll be guiding about what are the interview questions you'll be expecting, JavaScript and Cypress materials. And test consultation means if you are facing any challenges or blockers, yeah, we can discuss in the group or offline. Project support, yeah, that's a different thing. Recordings, yes, I'll share the recordings as well. From the vendor as well. Okay, that is pretty much about the course outline. And any questions on today's session?
Docker support, like if I want to execute this on Docker images.
Right, yes. See, Docker is a container, right? And for example, you have Windows operating system, but you want to execute scripts on Ubuntu operating system. Yes, you can install the you can clone the Docker image and execute. We have different Docker images available. For example, you want to test on Cypress with old versions of browsers, Chrome, Firefox. You can just clone the image and execute. For example, right now on my system, I have Chrome version 108, but I want to target from 90, 100, all the versions. We cannot install every version in the local system, right? Using the Docker images, we can just clone the image and execute. Chrome 100, Chrome 90, Firefox 90, Firefox 95. All the browser versions, different operating systems, everything is possible with the Cypress, Docker images. We can integrate with the CI/CD pipelines as well. That is the use case of Docker images. Okay, any other questions?
How is the
Okay.
job market for Cypress compared to the Selenium?
Yes, Ram Prasad, a good question. Yeah, in India, still Selenium is leading. Many companies still using Selenium because it's been long time, right? It's a standard framework. And coming to, if you consider abroad, you are moving to like different regions like UK, Europe, or US, Southeast Asia also. Nowadays, Cypress is booming. And India also, yes.
Yeah, in future we can able to get such type of market to the Cypress in India as well.
India as well. Nowadays in India also, like I got some calls from Pune. They're asking for resources.
Okay.
From Pune, Bangalore. I'll be referring to companies also.
Okay.
Yes, in India also like a lot of migration happening because Cypress is easy to maintenance, easy to learn, and easy to write. That's why Selenium, I do agree, it's been long time in the industry, and it's been robust, but a lot of complexity with the maintenance, right? If you are the framework design only takes like 1 to 2 weeks time. Appia means it will take 1 month time for the configuration. That's it. Like we are done with the most of the time. Here, what happened?
Vinayak, we can use Cypress only. My company.
Oh, you are using Cypress only?
Yeah.
See, that's what say in India also many companies
In
migrating to Cypress, Hyderabad. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we automate mobile apps as well by using Cypress like Appia?
No, Cypress is only for the web automation and mobile responsive. You can test on the viewports, like iPhone 11, iPhone 10, like that viewports we can test. But native applications coming to iOS application, Android, no, there is no possibility.
Even hybrid application also no, right?
Hybrid can, yes, hybrid possibility is there.
Yeah, we can use some phone gap and third-party tools, right? to create
Viewports and
applications.
it comes with the presets. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, third-party extension plugins also available. But if you want to, I mean, automate native application, no, there is no possible. Then you have to prefer WebDriver IO, which comes with web and mobile support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, guys?
Hello.
Yes, Nihal.
Yeah, I'm a training coordinator from Refer Me Group. Everyone, can you please share your contact number with me?